We're in Edzna.
Yeah, what do you think about Edzna?
I think it's amazing. This is Dan Vagabond Buddha. This is the cheapest way to take a tour from Campeche to Edzna Archaeological Site for $8 per person round trip, including transportation and entry. Click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to take this tour. Plus, find out about other day tours, restaurants, accommodations, transportation, and our best travel or retire cheap in paradise locations in the world. Finally, subscribe to Vagabond Buddha if you'd like to learn how to make money online and live all over the world. And here's our video. So we're in Edzna. It's an archaeological site outside of Campeche, Mexico, about an hour. You grab a Colectivo. We'll tell you where. Just click the link below the YouTube video. The Colectivo is 40 pesos per person, and the entry into the site is 60 pesos. You can get a guide here for 400 pesos. That's what they quoted us for 2 people. Which is about $20 US. And this place is reminiscent of Tikal, Guatemala. They discovered it in 1907. The height of population here occurred between around 600 and 900 AD, although some of these buildings have had material in them or around them carbonated, but BC, as early as 200 BC. So there's been humans here since about 200 BC, all the way up till about the time the Spanish arrived. There were people living here. And the Spanish never found this, obviously, with it being discovered in 1907. It wouldn't have been unusual for them to come here and do their best to ruin it all and build a church on top of it. But they didn't find it, so we get to enjoy it. And we're going to take a lot of pictures and video. Please enjoy. This place is reminiscent of Tikal in Guatemala, except I think it's further along in looks like a lot of it's been rebuilt here. I don't remember Tikal being finished or rebuilt as much as I see here. Of course, when these, over time, the jungle consumes buildings like this, and there'd be trees growing on it and whatnot. But if you can see here on the right, you can see that the cemetery here, this was a staircase that on the left, as you can see, it's been rebuilt. And on the right is probably how they discovered it, with just the trees being removed. Notice the hieroglyphics here on the base. Wow, what a beautiful bird. So various dates have been assigned to this. It's anywhere from, say, a couple hundred years before the birth of Christ to just after. And the height of this area was they predict was between around 600 and 900 AD. And most of the building was done here, they estimate, from around 400 AD to 700 AD. And of course, this type of construction has a long shelf life. And the whole city is oriented like we saw in Mount Alban near Oaxaca, with the sun being the principal god, and The building's oriented to capture the sunrise and set and to determine the when to plant crops and whatnot, when the rains start, when to harvest. There are about 200 buildings here that they've, various states of removing the debris that's formed over the centuries. The place was found in 1907, if my memory serves me, but it wasn't really, the excavation didn't really begin until about 1958, and not much in the early years, more in the 70s. And it reminds me of Tikal, although it looks like it's, as I said, it's a little more rebuilt. It's surprising to me how few people are here. Campeche itself is not exactly a well-known tourist spot. I mean, most people go to Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Cancun, and this is an hour outside of Campeche, so I guess it makes sense it wouldn't be as crowded, say somewhere like Chichen Itza. I would say though, of the two, if you could only see one, you'd want to come see this one. Nothing wrong with Chichen Itza. It's an amazing, beautiful place. It's just 4 or 5 buildings. Here there are 200 buildings. If you're enjoying this video, could you please like it, subscribe, or leave a comment? Your kindness will help us grow our business. Thank you so much. This is kind of interesting here. This will give you a better idea of what they discovered when they arrived in 1907. So I'm on the temple, one of the temples now, and this is one side of it that they haven't excavated yet. And so if you walked by this in the jungle, you might not think, wow, there's a pyramid under that thing. And that's more consistent with what I saw in Tikal. I mean, they've done some rebuilding in Tikal, but so to go from that to this takes some work, and to do it well, to discover and rebuild what it was is not as easy as it might look. I left the USA in 2007, been to 65 countries so far. I'm discovering the best live or retire cheap destinations in the world. Please visit Vagabond Buddha if you'd like to know what the greatest places for the cheapest in the world are to live. I don't know if you can see there, that's a face, and there's 2 big earrings, and there is potentially an animal's head on top of the face, and it's pretty cool. And there's another one over here. See the nose? That is so cool. We're in Edzna.
Yeah, what do you think about Edzna?
I think it's amazing. It's very peaceful, and there's many buildings here to see. It's you feel like you have the place all to yourself.
Yeah, because it's not like a Chichen Itza that's full of tourists. Here, maximum 20. Today we have seen a lot, like maybe 40. But this place is big, so you have the place by yourself.
Yeah. There are a lot of mosquitoes here, so bring your bug spray.
Yeah.
And your sunblock. Yeah.
And water. And some snack, because there's no food around here.
I haven't even seen a snack bar, have you?
Yeah, there's a vending bar. Vending that you put a coin into it and buy water.
Oh, vending machine, yeah.
Yeah. So Luckily we have our food.
Yeah. There's one temple here called the Old Sorcerer that we're walking back from. And we were the only ones there. And it's really beautiful, peaceful, and it's fun to see what people were doing all the way back to around the time of the birth of Christ here in the Americas. So check it out. So when you exit the park, there's a T section here, I guess you'd call it, and was someone here in a truck, and a woman we were walking with exiting the park asked her, and she said this is where you catch the Colectivo. And it's cool because there's shade. We'd read online to go to that sign over there, and there's no shade, and it's really hot, so we're happy to hear we're okay here. And this is the commemorating Luis Alberto Medina. These are common in Latin America. When someone dies in a car crash, you build these little memorials to them in the spot where they died. So deal with it. Well, that completes our cheap day tour to Edzna Archaeological Site from Campeche for $8. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to take this tour, find out where to catch the Colectivo, and subscribe to Vagabond Buddha to learn how to prosper internationally in the new digital economy. This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. Thanks for listening. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner?